What's up YouTube? Scotty Tradition back with another video. Gonna do a little bit different style outside video today. Just kind of hanging out on the back patio. Um, haven't got a ton of pickups in lately because I'm actually been more in sell mode. Those of you who know me well know that I've been moving a few things. Probably moved about at least $6,000 or $7,000 I'd say worth of stuff so far, and I've at least probably doubled my money in some cases, and in other cases, quadrupled or more on stuff that I had. I'm just kind of really going through the collection and figuring out what I like and what I love, kind of getting rid of some of the stuff that I just like, just because the market is so incredibly high right now. And I'm not finished yet. There's still some things I want to move. So if you're friends with me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook at all, and you see something you like that I'm moving, feel free to hit me up. I'd love to work out a deal with you. I did get a few items in though, so I'm going to show those. So this is a Prince Fielder Future Reflections from '05 Upper Deck rookie card, and this is a cheap pickup. It's like a $20 pickup, and I actually had this card in BGS 9.5, but I was finally able to add it to the set registry by getting it in PSA, so I will most likely be moving the BGS version of the card. Then also had a few Topps Project 2020 cards come in that I think I bought these like 2 months ago. At least that's what it seems like. So I got the F. Mr. Padre. Still not sure what I'm going to do with these cards. Got the Gregory Sif Jeter. And then I got the Naturel Koufax. I picked this up back when I had the Naturel Clemente, but I have since moved that card, of course, because I was able to do pretty well making a profit on that card. So yeah, that's all. That's what I got in. A couple interesting pickups. Happy to find that Fielder for my registry set, and the Topps Project 2020 cards. They're just fairly cheap pickups as well, as you guys all know. So a couple other things going on in the world of Scotty Tradition. So I've actually been on quarantine for the last, I guess, week to 8 days. I had a coworker that I work with. For those of you who don't know, I work at a hospital in imaging, and I had a coworker that had tested positive for COVID, and I worked in close proximity with this person for a day, so a full 8-hour shift, and so basically, because of the extended period that I worked with her, and that I work with patients, basically, I actually had 2 COVID tests done. I had one done last Thursday, which was a rapid test, which tested negative, and then I had a regular PCR analyzed test done on Monday of this week, in which I got the results back on Tuesday and also tested negative. So I plan on actually going back to work tomorrow on Thursday. So I've had a few days off here. So yeah, it's not been too bad. I do not recommend. I shouldn't say I don't recommend. I mean, if you have to have it, you have to have it. But the nasopharyngeal swabs are very interesting. I think a lot of it depends on who does your test. But my first one I had wasn't too bad. The second one I had was, I wouldn't say it would hurt, but it was fairly uncomfortable. Just getting something shoved up past your nose. So yeah, it is what it is. But if you don't want to have to get swabbed, I would recommend trying to stay as safe as you can, because it's not the most pleasant experience in the world. So that's been going on. I'm glad I tested negative, so me and my family have kind of been just quarantining together, because it's almost impossible to quarantine from your actual family, especially when you have young kids like we have. It's just impossible, and you don't want to send the kids to daycare knowing that they might have COVID. So of course, it just made sense for us to keep them home and for us to kind of quarantine together. So that being said, though, I did test negative, and looking forward to getting back to work on Thursday. So I felt fine too throughout this whole time. I think I've got a little bit of like seasonal allergy stuff going on, but certainly no COVID symptoms, so to speak. So I thought there was a fairly good chance that I would test negative anyways. So glad that I did. And the other thing that's going on is so college football and fall sports in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are now canceled. Um, Man, I love college football, so that really sucks. Um, I thought the Big 12 was going to be the next to make a decision. To my knowledge, they have not made a decision yet, but it sounds like they want to try to play. And of course, the SEC and the ACC want to play as well. Will they be, once they get into this thing, will they be able to continue to play? That's a whole other story. Um, how do I feel about it? I mean, I certainly understand it from the university perspective. Like, you don't want to, like, look, if you decide to play and a bunch of your players get sick and you're not even paying them anyways to play, it reflects very poorly on you. And if one or two players get real sick and have lifelong implications from this, it's really not going to look good on you. So I am sure that if they played, the majority of young athletes would be absolutely fine. Um, but what about the one or two that will not be? And that's what this all comes down to. It comes down to liability. These universities do not want to be, you know, litigated. And that's the honest truth. They'll play it off as player safety, but I think that they don't want to deal with litigation. And so now with the SEC and ACC going forward, does that make them bold or does that make them stupid? That's the question. I don't know. I mean, I like college football as much as the next person, that's for sure. So I understand it. I wish it didn't have to be that way. Like, I wish as a society we didn't have to make decisions just trying not to get sued. Like, that sucks. And I wish you could kind of try to plug forward and go forward ahead. But I understand it. You know, that's where we live now, unfortunately. And I think it's a smart decision. It's certainly a safe decision, though. It's a safe, not bold decision, but it's probably the smart one. And I think that if they did play, most kids would be just fine. This thing would run its course, probably, but what about those one or two that are not fine? What about a coach that gets it? You know, these coaches are older. What if one of those guys get it and ends up passing away? You just don't know. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I'm excited to have the NBA. That's actually been really fun to watch. So if you're not a fan of the NBA, I would highly recommend watching the playoffs because the competition's been awesome. They've done a great job, I feel like, even with no fans. Like, they've just done a great job. It feels like basketball to me. A little bit more so than baseball. It feels like baseball. I think basketball's done a better job to this point. Now the NFL, how's that going to go? All indications are they're going to go full speed ahead. So, you know. And what's going to happen with high school football, you know, in some of these states? Are they going to go forward if the colleges are not? It's a mess, and it should be interesting to see. It's basically unprecedented, so there's nothing to look at to say, yep, this is how we should do it. I mean, it's all new. So now if the SEC and ACC end up going forward in college football and playing, and there's no issue, does that kind of reflect badly on the Big Ten then, and the Pac-12? You know, will that affect them down the road for recruiting, and will some players jump ship and try to still play for these schools? Will that even be allowed? I don't know. That's a great question. So, yep. So just, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But I just wanted to hop on here quick and make a video. It's a beautiful day here in Wisconsin. Skies are perfectly blue. There's not a cloud up there. Birds are chirping. Got to enjoy the nice weather while you can. So, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys all have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.